seem like nighttime? Nope, it's just really early. It's like 5 a.m. I didn't get much sleep actually. Not really sure what the day is going to be like in terms of time, in terms of free time anyways, to vlog and stuff. Days like this would actually be really fun to document, but can't say anything, as you guys know, just the way it is. Oh look, there's some light. Okay, you know how it is, gotta cut it off. Let's see if there's gonna be light by the time I get back. Guess what? There's light. There was technical difficulty, so things had to get delayed. Alright, I did read some interesting stuff during that time though. The first one here says, a drone for last centimeter delivery. It's a really tiny drone meant to deliver smaller parcels, like less than 500 grams or so to my knowledge. So more for things like, I guess, a letter or maybe something like a pen, like that type of thing. It says here, the unique idea here is that the drone becomes the package that wraps around the cargo before flight, just like a mail package. The foldable carbon fiber cage protects the drone and the cargo in the case of a collision or fall. What's more, the recipient can catch the drone mid-flight without being injured by the propellers, which are located within the structure and have a safety system so that they stop when the cage is open. This is kind of cool. I mean, they gave kind of the example of someone just opening up, I guess, like a file cabinet, taking the drone and saying, hey, I need to send this, and then someone can actually catch it like safely. That's how I see the future actually with the drones and stuff. That's actually really cool. Again, brings up my point of how, like, you know, even with the Transport Canada saying you can't envision everybody having a drone, like in some ways, I can envision people doing stuff like this. Oh, yeah. Try one this way. Would I dare to eat that? Is it safe to eat it like this? Technically it should be, right? It's good. Wow, really fresh. I wonder if you threw the drone right through this, it would go crazy just because of all this metal and stuff like that here. Such a rugged area that you used to see me walk through, right? What's that about? So earlier, one of the most interesting articles I read, it said here, UN calls for a global drone registration database. So this isn't just like a local thing in your own country. They want something standard for the, I guess, everywhere across the board. So if you bring your drone here, there, doesn't matter where, you'll be like identified if you do something wrong with it. It says here, drone usage is becoming more and more common, and so far there have been a number of incidents, whether it be crashing into a Ferris wheel, cyclists, the Seattle Space Needle, or fans at a baseball game. It is no surprise that agencies want to crack down on drones. For me personally, I'm still in the mindset on how there should be a distinct difference between a commercial flyer and a recreational one. Even with these examples of the crashes, like with drones, like it just seems so selective. I can put all the major crashes that the media always talks about in the palm of my hands for the most part. If you think of other things, like say a car or something like that, how many accidents are there every single day? I mean, you gotta treat it on a case-by-case basis. But all this about registering, the insurance and stuff like that, it almost feels like they're trying to go too fast without having like a system in place. I guess my analogy would be it's almost like trying to force car drivers to get a license, an exam, without having an established rules of the road. Like they don't even have traffic lights. Like how do you know like the right of way of like a pedestrian and all that? It's like they don't have any of that in place. Like if you were to think of it in a road, but they still want the cars to be insured and everything like that. Shouldn't you focus on like getting the rules of the road and everything like that first? Does that make more sense? In my opinion, just like with the way technology is going and with the airspace, it should go both ways. It shouldn't always be about the drone should avoid this, the drone flyer should have to avoid that. It has to work in every way too. I mean, there has to be a point where that helicopter pilot should avoid the drone flyer like at a certain distance unless it's an emergency. Like you have to establish that kind of rule first before throwing all this in. Otherwise, to me, again, it's a lot like just basically wanting people to get licensed with their cars and stuff without like the markings and stuff like here. Like on the road, people should have like a clear understanding who has the right of way and everything like that during what situations. Or at the same time, like if an ambulance comes by, like that's usually the excuse for the helicopters I heard in the session. You never know. A helicopter could land in an emergency below 100 meters or something like that. We'll have a system for it then. What do we have on the road? Those ambulances and stuff, they make a really loud sound, right? Why can't you have something like that as well for the helicopter? Isn't it better to invent something like that like first before having all this stuff in place, like forcing people to register? I guess common sense and logic isn't a favorite when it comes to making regulations for new tech and all that. Oh, and thank you for the kind gesture of wanting to find ways to like help you get like a backup drone or something like that. I don't really know how that would work, but yeah, in my opinion, it's just about the DJI again. Because like I said, I invested in the Mavic for the long term, and they're still taking their sweet time, whatever is going on. But let's see, since I have some time, let's try some little drone footage. Alright, see you guys later.